Hey, welcome to part 2. Just wanted to let you know, not only do I have a Twitter, which I made a few months ago, I now have an Instagram. It's mainly for me to post stuff about my life that I do, like this.
Is it a yes?
Yes!
Okay.
That's cute. So if you want to see more of my personal life, you can go on there. I'll try to be as entertaining as possible. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now enjoy the review. The basic elements of action movies. If you're going to make an action movie, you need a few simple things. Of course, Transformers 4 has none of these things. I'm going to explain why every good action movie you've ever seen is good, and why Transformers cannot hold up. Number 1. Good effects. Part of what makes an action movie really good is if the movie looks real. That gives it some emotional weight. Even if you're watching like the stupidest action movie ever, if the effects look real, you can believe it. If something looks fake, it takes you out of the movie. It makes the movie seem cartoonish. How are you supposed to care about what's happening if you know it's fake? The movie's job is to convince you that it's really happening. Now, the movie itself doesn't even really have to be realistic, but if it looks real, hey, you can kind of believe it. It's called suspension of disbelief. Some of these action movies have huge effects, planes and tanks and bombs and all kinds of crazy shit. But sometimes it's something simple, like blood. This is an action scene from The Raid 2, one of the greatest action movies ever made. Now, does this movie use CGI blood? Yes. In a few scenes, you do see that they're using CGI blood, and it kind of takes you out of the movie. But when it matters, the effects look real. Even if they are CGI, they look real to me. It makes the action seem violent and brutal, and it really gets you invested in the scene. There are stakes. Someone is going to die right now. Let's compare a scene like this to a scene from Ninja Assassin. It looks like fucking garbage. Every time someone gets stabbed, it's CGI blood, and the blood always seems to just fly up in the air and then dissolve. Of course, sometimes filmmakers have limited resources or time, and sometimes they do have to use CGI. But not every single kill. And that is where Transformers 4 starts to fall apart. The Transformers film that came out in 2007 somehow managed to have better effects than this. While there are some shots where everything looks real, most of the time, I can't get over the fact that these are CGI characters. I can't even call them characters, they're just effects. You never forget you're watching a special effect. In a movie like Lord of the Rings, or Rise of the Planet of the Apes, or King Kong, you forget you're watching a special effect, and you just start to see a character. That's not only because of how good the effects are, but that's because of how good the writing is. They're actually able to give these characters personality. That's how you're able to care for a CGI ape. We are given no reason to like these Transformers.
They're so good, you know, and there's a lot of bad in the world, and it's like they're always doing the right thing.
I gotta hurt you now. You're just too disturbing to live. Take that, bitch. Oh, you're dead.
The Transformers are props. That's it. They're props meant to fight other props. Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. It's like being in Universal Studios. Then they started designing new Transformers, and they transform like this. Why did you change it? That looks so fake.
Special effects are just a tool, a means of telling a story. People have a tendency to confuse them as an end to themselves.
Nope. Sorry, but you're wrong. A scene like this is what special effects were made for.
You like music? The pill.
Yep. Good old product placement. Let's not even be subtle. Good characters. Every good action movie needs a likable hero, as well as a really intimidating villain. Sometimes the villains can be funny, or they can be smart, or they can just be batshit insane. Sometimes a villain can be the most interesting character in the whole thing. And just because the villain is CGI doesn't mean you can't give him personality. It's a matter of fact that gives you more freedom to experiment.
I feel sorry for you, Prime. Your allegiance, these humans. The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you.
So the villains stink, and the heroes stink too. I don't even know their names. I know Optimus and Bumblebee because they've been in all 4 movies, but I don't know the rest of them. Should I care? Can you give me a reason to care? Is that so much to ask? The 3-act structure. Every action movie has a pretty standard structure. That's not a bad thing. Unless you want to be experimental or different, you can just follow this 3-act structure. Everyone knows about it. If you're making an action movie that's meant to appeal to the general public, then there's nothing wrong with using this 3-act structure. Every successful movie ever has used it. It's a simple way to tell a story, but it works. I found this online. It basically explains the entire plot to Star Wars. Luke decides to follow Ben, fight for the rebellion, and rescue the princess. Then in Act 2, Luke finds the princess, loses Ben, and escapes from the Death Star. And then in Act 3, Luke blows up the Death Star and saves the rebellion. Brilliant! There is nothing wrong with it. So why is this movie convoluted as shit? Start out with dinosaurs, and then we go to this Transformer and he dies. And then we go to this guy and it's Mark Wahlberg and he finds a truck, and then Optimus wakes up. And then they attack Optimus, and then Optimus attacks them, and then Optimus attacks humans, and then Optimus and the daughter are kidnapped, and they have to go rescue them. Okay, that's a movie right there. Act 1 is the setup. We're introduced to Mark Wahlberg and Optimus Prime, and all this shit is explained to us. And then in Act 2, the Transformers go to attack the bad guys, and they fail, and the daughter's kidnapped along with Optimus Prime. And then in the 3rd act, they defeat the bad guys and rescue the daughter and rescue Optimus Prime. Done. But no, the movie keeps going after that. Then we're treated to politics and espionage, and we go to China, and now there's more dinosaurs that are made of metal or something. And then there are other villains that are introduced. Now we have 4 fucking villains. Now we have the alien Transformers, and we have the humans, and we have the Transformers that are made by humans. This guy with a gun is trying to attack Mark Wahlberg. Then we have the corporate guy who just sits there and smiles while twirling his mustache. Then we have the alien bad guy fighting Optimus Prime. And then there's Optimus Prime fighting the dinosaurs. And then the dinosaurs team up with Optimus Prime. And then Optimus Prime attacks the Transformers that were made by the humans with the dinosaurs. And then the alien Transformers build giant magnet that lifts everything in the air for some reason. It just stick to the thing. Why is this movie 3 hours long, and why does it make no sense? Doesn't it cost you more money to make movies longer? Having to go through all these rewrites and post-production shit? The effects could be better if you made the movie shorter. You would have more time to render the effects. You would have more time to make sure that every single shot looks great. Why must every movie this guy makes be 3 hours long? Not only that, there's no satisfying conclusion, and it ends on a cliffhanger, as if we were really invested in the story and not just there to see robots fight each other. Just give the stupid audience that wants to see this 90 minutes of robots fighting and they'll be happy. Good guy, bad guy, fight. Now there's one more thing you need in an action movie to make a good action movie, and that is action. If the action isn't good, then you kind of fucked up. Sure enough, the action in this movie stinks. And allow me to explain myself. It's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know who anyone is and I don't care. So it's just a bunch of metal clanging into each other, shooting at each other. There's dinosaurs here, and there's alien robots here, and there's human-made robots over here, and there's Transformers over here, and then there are humans over here, and humans over here, and I have no idea what's going on. It's just a series of random explosions. There are a lot of times you don't even know who's shooting at what or where this explosion came from. The sound design stinks.
I'll kill you!
Everything feels so empty. The sound design in the old movies was awesome. Once again, you never forget you're watching special effects, so these scenes have no tension. There's nothing to keep you invested in the action. And you don't care. It's stale. Watching shit blow up isn't exciting anymore. Watching these things fight isn't exciting anymore. Stop. Michael Bay. Michael Bay is one of the worst filmmakers in Hollywood. He doesn't care about the films he makes at this point. He doesn't care if they stink or whatever. He just makes them because they make money. He doesn't care about the integrity of Transformers or if the movie makes sense or if anyone likes it. He makes these movies because they make money, and therefore he makes money. He knows little kids will drag their parents to go see this garbage, and he aims to make these films as annoying, as boring, as overly long, as convoluted, as racist, sexist, and homophobic as possible. He shoots everything like he's shooting a music video. It's pandering. It's insulting to my intelligence. And he knows this, and he keeps doing it. In every movie, it gets worse and worse. It feels like he's testing to see where the bottom is. How bad can a movie get and still make money? I am a straight man, and I think he is a perverted fuck. He takes up 10 minutes of screen time to explain to us why this relationship isn't statutory rape.
I just called the cops on you because this is illegal. She's a minor.
We're protected by the Romeo and Juliet laws.
We dated for a little while. I was a sophomore and he was a senior. It's fine.
No, it's not fine.
We've got a pre-existing juvenile foundational relationship. Statute 2705-3.
What? Texas statute? That a real law?
Yep.
Holy shit. Why couldn't you make his daughter 20 years old and make this guy 21? You needed to make her 17 and make him 21 so you can take up 10 minutes of this 3-hour movie to explain to us what the fuck statutory rape is. Everything from a girl walking down the street to a boat flying up in the air is shot exactly the same way. The whole movie looks the same, and therefore you have the same feeling the whole movie, and therefore you get bored. Sure, you could have all this cool stylistic stuff, but there are some times where characters are interacting and you just need to put the camera down for a second. When someone's walking down a hallway, you don't need to make it into an event. Just put the camera down and show them walking into the fucking room.
Why can't we make what we want to make the way we want to make it?
You don't need to shoot everything like it's an action scene. You watch a movie like Boogie Nights, and there's lots of stylistic stuff in there. The camera moves around, there are lots of long takes, lots of crazy stuff, and energetic music. But then when a scene like this shows up, Paul Thomas Anderson puts the camera down for a second and lets the scene play out. He's not doing this shit. When you shoot different scenes with different tones and different ways, it has more of an impact on the audience. When everything is shot like this, the audience gets exhausted.
What do you think? Look at all of this. This could be yours. What about this land? Isn't this incredible?
Oh, of course, I forgot about the racism.
I will have my brother come back and beat your ass. Don't you start with me. Why don't you and I'll do it bring the police yourself? when I come too. My brother ain't no joke.
There's a Japanese robot now. Yeah, it has a Japanese accent, and it even calls Optimus Prime Sensei. How does this work? Transformers came down to Earth and they're able to speak English because they studied the internet, right? Or something like that?
What is that? How do you learn to talk like that?
We've learned Earth's languages through the World Wide Web.
Yeah, so did this Japanese robot land in Japan or something? That's why it has a Japanese accent? Does that mean the ghetto bots from the second movie landed in Harlem? They studied the language through the internet too, right? Did they look at some like slang version of eBay and that's why they talk all slang? Did they use Gazoogle? And of course, in Michael Bay's little brain, every single Asian person knows Kung Fu. Even some random Asian guy. He's just an embarrassment. He has no artistic integrity. But he's still not the main reason this movie stinks. Do you want to know the main reason? There's a very specific reason why this movie's bad. And there's a very specific reason why summer movies keep getting worse. And here is why. China. Gather around, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm going to explain worldwide box office gross. See, back in the early days of film, movies made about $1 million, $2 million. They didn't make that much. And after movies like Jaws and Star Wars, movies became like a big money maker kind of thing. They wanted to start appealing to more people so they could make more money, of course. So they sacrificed a little bit of artistic integrity and quality so that they can entertain more people. Domestic box office gross became a big deal. Worldwide box office gross wasn't really a big deal yet. If a movie made money overseas, it was fine, but no one really paid attention to it. Then at some point, movies started to make a lot of money overseas. And Hollywood started to realize that there was a real market for other countries. Other countries would be willing to see movies. Some movies got released in other countries before they got released here. So of course, you want to appeal to more people, so you have to make movies that appeal to the entire planet. And so you have to sacrifice a lot of quality and artistic integrity to make everyone on the planet like your movie, or at least want to see it. You take out a little bit of story and add a little more action. The more you do that, the more people will see your movie overseas. You know why? Because sure, in some countries they do have subtitles for the movies, but what if you live in a country where everyone speaks Sentinelese? Do you think they have subtitles for Sentinelese? Nope. So what are you gonna do? I mean, if you're lucky, you may have some guy in the theater with a microphone explaining the most important plot points. But really, when someone in a foreign country watches a movie, the movie's basically gibberish. So what do they go there to see? They go there to see spectacle. They want to see action and effects. They don't care about story or acting or dialogue or anything like that. They want to see giant robots fighting each other. So the reason Transformers 4 sucks is because they wanted it to suck. Because the more it sucks, the more people will see it in foreign countries, especially China, which is one of the biggest markets for movies. Maybe even the biggest. I'm not gonna call all audiences in foreign countries stupid, because of course that's not the case. But when the masses go to see a movie, they don't care about anything but spectacle. They don't want movies that can make them think. They want to see explosions and action for as long as possible so that they can escape their miserable lives. Movies like this will keep getting worse and worse and worse, and it doesn't even matter if it makes any money over here now. If it makes money in China, it's a hit. Why do you think they go to China at the end of the movie for absolutely no reason? Have you seen how the movie's marketed there?
What haven't you been telling me?
中央政府一定会全力支持香港。We're not going down without a fight.
变形金刚4崛起重生，迈克尔贝电影。
It's sad, but it's true. This movie is a commercial. It's a product. It's as much of a product as the toys these movies were based on. You know why the whole thing is shot like a commercial? Because it is one.
I brought you some milk.
Thank you.
I have to talk to you about something.
Thank you, brother. Did you see my review?
Mm-hmm.
Did you like it? Alright, I'm awake. What the hell are you doing? It's a movie. Alright, this started out as like a joke thing for YouTube, but now you're changed to a thing? Like, have you lost your mind? Alright, you wanna know the truth? Spider-Man shit. And your taste in movies, it stinks. And you have gay haircut, and you have gay eyes. Everyone thinks you're gay because your taste in movies, that's true. So,
Fuck you.